Within this project, I've been experimenting with the automation and effects on these different tracks of my Three Little Birds reggae arrangement in GarageBand. So if you press A for automation on your QWERTY keyboard, it will bring this up. And you can see the project. So what I've been trying to do is experiment with these different tracks. This is what it sounds like at the moment. Okay, so these lines represent the different effects that have been applied to some of the tracks. So here particularly, I started off by looking at the clav sound. So this is what it sounds like on its own. So these are just the chords or skanks, C chord and F chord. You can see there in the piano roll. So what I've done is I've opened up this here for smart controls. And you can then see on the left these options here. So what I've added in is the pedal board. If you double click there, you can find it on the drop down menu, which is at the bottom there as well. So you can add in more effects. I've gone for here, and if you have a chord like this, you can then add this wah effect. There's lots of other sounds and effects you can try in this. Delay, tremolo, grit, fuzz. So you can apply different effects. If you don't like it, just drag it back over, take it off. You can also hear how it sounds with and without using this button here. That's without, that's with. Again, just drag it off. So I applied this effect using the wah-wah, pressing A for automation, by trying to create these dots alongside it. Okay, so if you double click there, you can then kind of create this sound. Now that wah sound is created when a big difference is created whilst the sound is being played. So you need to make sure you create this across where your notes are actually being played. If you do it in the gap in between, nothing will be affected. Now the way in which you manipulate this is in this drop down menu. Basically this gives you the option to manipulate any of these sounds throughout the piece. So you can see I've applied some of these different effects to these parts. Okay, if you listen to this bottom one here, the clav, you can hear the delay being increased. Okay, so it rises and rises, this delay, to a point where it then creates a lot of feedback. I wanted this moment of feedback here, and then I drop it down. I might even extend that so it's more of an extreme drop down. So in the mix it sounds like this. Or even more. So these dots control where and when something is played. There's lots of other effects you can try and play around with. You can see I've played around with the pedal board there. We could take different sounds. We've got the delay happening to the piano as well here. You can can see the lines in the background to see other effects that have been tried. So the way to get to this one, again, remember you click on the track and then click there, and then you can see the list here. So at the moment we've just got EQ and compressor. If we then try and apply maybe some more reverb to this sound, we can take one small bar here. You can experiment with some of these sounds as well. But the thing to keep in mind is you don't need to keep it the same the whole time. So by pressing A for automation, you could then apply the reverb to change over time. So you could have the dry and wetness is to do with how much of that effect you're letting apply to that track. So we could try something like this. And then back to normal. So that's obviously very extreme. You don't need to apply that much of the effect to it, but if you use this in a clever way in lots of the different tracks, it will have a lot more depth. And considering reggae uses a lot of reverb and delay to enhance the sound, it's a way in which you could make your piece a lot more authentic within the reggae genre.